Good day, everyone. This is Vincent Tan speaking. This time, I'm going to talk about Torso Mid-Need Split, the multi-zone introduction. Meanwhile, I also provide the corresponding video linkages at the below description area just for your reference. This sharing divides into these 5 parts. Moreover, I provide the corrected subtitle just for your better understanding. Don't forget to turn it on if you need.
Indoor unit features.
Cassette type. Here is the model. This K means it is cassette type, and you need to install this inside the job ceiling. Capacity is 1 ton, 1.5 ton, and 2 ton. Here I just put the air volume, noise, and also the weight and size here just for your reference. Just like its name, the air discharge is 4 ways. It can cool down or heat up your room quickly, just like this one. Duct type. There are 2 different duct types. One is the low ESP and the other is high ESP. So let's focus on this one first. With an F here, that means it is duct type. And for low ESP series, there are 4 capacity with 3 cases. And why we say it is low ESP, it can only connect with 1 meter or 3 feet air ductwork, which means this is the ESP it can achieve. And the benefit it is the thickness is only less than 8 inch. And the next we go to the high ESP, and with an S here, that means it is high ESP. And there also to be 4 capacity, but 2 cases. How high you can achieve the ESP, it is according to the capacity, either 0.6 or 0.8 inch water gauge. All torso duct type, you can adjust the panel position either at the rear or at the button. This is to adjust the air return either from the rear or from the button. It's up to you to decide where is this panel location. And the other is for the high ESP duct type, means we can achieve this ESP, which can connect to a long ductwork for different air discharge, which is very convenient to the local situation. For all torso duct type, we provide a built-in water pump located at the back of this access panel. On site, you will have 3 drainage ports. Number 1 is here. Number 2, this one. And number 3 is here. At the lower side, 2 are for the gravity drainage, and the upper side is for the water pump drainage. And for the low ESP duct type, the advantage is the thickness is less than 8 inch, which is best for the narrow ceiling.
COMSOL indoor unit. First is the product lineup in this table. Appearance is here, means this 3 model is completely the same from the appearance. And from the model, if there is an E here, that means it is the COMSOL type. And I also put the air volume, noise, net weight, also the size here just for your reference. And for this one, you can choose the air discharge, which is either from up and down together or only from the upper side. And convenient maintenance, that means it locates at the lower position, which means it is easier to access to change the filter or replace the inside components. X fan. For this one, it is in cooling mode. When you turn off the indoor unit, the fan, if you turn on this X fan function, it will operate for another 2 minutes. The purpose of it is just to blow out the water and dry the evaporator to avoid the mildew.
Smart sleep mode. Once you turn on this function, it will adjust your set point automatically. Basically, according to your setting, in cooling mode, it will adjust the set point 1 degree higher than your setting temperature. And then after 6 or 7 hours, it will adjust back to the set point again. And similar to the heating mode. And this just attention that this function will adjust your set point without notice. Occasion function, also called action function. That means if you are not at home for a long time and during that period, the outdoor ambient is already very cold, just like this case already become -5, and your room is freezing, and just like this fish is calling hell because the water is becoming ice. And you can turn on this function even you are not at home, then the system can operate to keep your room at about 8 degrees to avoid frozen. And this target 8 or 46 Fahrenheit cannot be adjusted. I-feel function. This one is to detect the room temperature from the remote sensor. And actually there is a temperature sensor inside the remote controller. Then we can send this information to the air conditioner instead of detect the room temperature from the air return. This is just to detect the room temperature with a higher accuracy. Besides, if you install the wired controller, you have another option to select the air return instead of from the indoor unit air return. Then you can also read the room temperature from the wired controller, which means if you install a wired controller, you have another option to select which is the air return sensor.
Energy saving setting function. First is the setting upper limit and lower limit of the setting temperature. You can change the upper limit for heating and lower limit for cooling. And for this one, you can somehow to achieve the energy saving to avoid excessive cooling and excessive heating. And the next is the eye demand. You can turn on this function also from the wireless remote controller, and it will display this SE for energy saving. And for this control is just to optimize the setting, including the fan speed and the setting temperature. And also when you turn on this function for fan speed, to apply turbo, it is not available, and also we fix the setting temperature, not allowed to adjust.
That's all for this sharing. If you still have any other question, feel free to contact me on my email address. Meanwhile, you can also scan this QR code to access for this presentation sharing. Hasta la próxima. それではまた今度。